Welcome everyone, Costin here with Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader. Take up the mantle of a rogue trader, the scion of an ancient dynasty of daring privateers that reign over their trade protectorate and explore the fringes of the known galaxy. There's quite a few difficulty settings, though normal seems like it could really be easy in quite a few ways. You also have daring, which does seem to be the most neutral of these difficulties, and then of course you do have unfair. So this difficulty is not recommended for players not familiar with the Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader system. So enemy stats are increased to 20%, enemy wounds are increased by 80%, damage inflicted by enemies. Okay, let's go see what we got. Okay. Well, alright. So we can make a custom character. Let me make a custom character. I got her. Darius. Okay. Well, let's see what making a custom character will give me. There's gonna be quite a few choices over here, aren't there? Okay. That is a lovely mustache, isn't it? She seems like she's a bit crazy. Alright. You know what? I think I'll go with that. Oh, hold on. So you can make your own portrait. Okay, let's Alright, that does seem reasonable. Or I could use him and then go to Heir. Let's see what we got. Just because I like that portrait a bit more, right? Okay. Fair enough. Hair color, hairstyle, beard. Alright.
Something of interest.
The Emperor gave me a vision.
Applaud my brilliance.
Through chaos, I struck.
This could be an opportunity.
We need to investigate.
The destination is
Blood and
Lance batteries, volley!
look upon the Emperor's faithful and
For the glory of the dynasty. I'll bring glory
for the Emperor!
Okay. So you can pick a Death World, okay? Imperial World. Better to die for the Emperor than live for yourself. Humanity's finest. What is Fellowship? Okay, let's go with Fellowship. To deceive, especially. It will feel appropriate, I think. Commissar. Crime Lord. We can go with Noble. A Navy officer. Well, what? Am I Horatio Nelson in space? Okay. Let's go. It looks cool. You'll lure the pirate squadron commerce under your command without a single... Okay, let's go with awareness. Brand of Shame. Oh, this is interesting. So we get Officer, Warrior, Exemplar, Master Tactician, okay. Damn. And here I thought okay, how many skills? Alright. I feel... Yeah, going full on perception, intelligence, toughness. Okay, to withstand the horrors of the warp. Let's increase that, because that's probably going to be pretty damn important. Alright, the sword class frigate. I'm gonna go with something. The Andromeda. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. So Anasazi will face the horrors of the warp on the frontier for himself and for the Emperor, but mostly for himself.
An excellent place for contemplation. One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity.
Do you have a particular reason for disturbing me?
My apologies. I did not seek you out to pester you with unwanted attention. Allow me to introduce myself. Conrad Voigtveer, Master of Whispers, in the employ of Her Ladyship Rogue Trader Theodora von Valencias. At your service. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with you in person before.
I have no intention of introducing myself.
I am afraid I wouldn't be able to hide my familiarity with who you are and where you come from, no matter how respectful I try to be of you and your wishes. After all, it is my primary duty to be well informed. Moreover, whatever bloodline name you used before, it no longer matters much. I will be frank with you. You may forget your past titles, no matter who gave them to you, or what their origins are. From the moment you and the other candidate were brought aboard this void ship, your fate changed. You now serve Lord Captain Theodora von Valencias, and carry the burden of an heir of this house. Henceforth, you share your dynastic name with Her Ladyship. Bear it with honor.
I assume you had some goal in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let us address it.
But of course, I have come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness, and I'm sure she has just as many questions for you. It is regrettable that you haven't yet had an opportunity to speak. It has been an arduous voyage thus far. The Lord Captain and Master Ethelthrad von Valencias are conversing on the observation platform. Let us join them there.
All right.
Know your duty.
Alright, interactable objects.
Let the faith guide my path to glory.
Alright, so this is a tutorial.
With each step, I forge my destiny among the stars.
Alright. Alright, the game has saved.
One of the Fon Valencia's trophy rooms. Perhaps you would like to take a look around after your audience with the Lord Captain.
What's happening?
Run! The servitors have gone berserk!
I am but a faithful herald of the righteous wrath.
Alright, a malfunctioning servitor. Ooh. Oh. All battles, okay. Once can attack, move, attack, and use their abilities. Movement points determine, okay.
The Emperor commands.
The Navy officer and the allies, okay.
I won't suffer this.
Alright, well, he's useless. He missed. Okay.
I will not be deterred.
Alright, to make attacks and use abilities. Well, he probably won't be dying anytime soon. Good. I can certainly believe it on a day like
Suspiciously
this.
poor timing for such an accident. Servitors malfunction on the officer's deck at exactly the same moment when the rogue trader and her heirs are gathered here. I have blocked all passages between the upper and lower sectors of the residential decks. If this is a deliberate attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan.
Well, the ratings have arrived. No one's allowed to enter the
I'm
premises.
afraid I must remain here. For Lady Theodora's safety, I have to oversee the execution of these orders personally. I hope you will have no difficulty reaching the observation platform on your own. It is just at the end of this corridor.
Well.
We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours. Let us walk this path to the end.
Let's see what we got.
Know your duty. The Divine watches over us.
Interesting. This is simply irrational. Assimilation to the trade structure would be political and economic suicide, practically an admission of heresy. Then suggest an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation. No worse than my seneschal could have done. Make a decision. What will you do with Aeon 6? Survey the room. Your first impression, who appears to be about 30 years old, is of apartment-like skin stretched over a tightly bundled mass of sinew, implants, and bone. The nervously twitching fingers, the face twisted by a slight tic, and the jerky movements are all sign of some illness or defect that has taken over his physical form. In stark contrast, Theodora features appear as if they were carved from marble, eternal and indestructible. Head raised high, proud posture, hands clasped casually behind her back. Everything seems to emphasize the difference in status between her and Frat. Behind the two of them, you see two more men. One is a gray-haired officer of an impeccable bearing who is studying the contents of his data slate. The other is a behemoth bristling with holsters and baldricks containing all manner of weapons. Our second candidate has joined us. The dry female voice and the powerful feeling of being watched force you to look at Theodora. The rogue trader is looking straight at you, and her gaze, like herself, is predatory and oppressive. Tir Anasazi, approach and give me your answer. Consider this hypothetical situation. Aeon 6, a new world on the fringes of the Coronos expanse. High seismic activity, regular magma eruptions, metamorphic rock deposits, prospect for large-scale mining, the world populated by natives who worship some heretical underworld spirit that protects those who offer them sacrifices. Flights of fancy, you might say, but attempts to install war structures have failed for the second time. The mining crews sent to the planet's surface simply vanished overnight. My question to you is, what would you do with this poisoned treasure? It's interesting. Those spirits could well be the natives' name for dangerous aliens. I would first verify if that is indeed the case, and if the population of Aeon 6 engages in xeno worship. Theodora arches an eyebrow. Reasonable and prudent. However, chasing after ethereal creatures may prove a rather long and fruitless endeavor. Edelfrad scoffs. Apart from Xenos, an untrodden planet might be teeming with myriad horrors that are far more dangerous and difficult to eradicate. I suspect that you, Tir Anasazi, are simply unaware of their existence. I find your tone disagreeable, Edelfrad. You'll kindly alter the manner in which you address me, or else you will live to regret the consequences. Well, I find your company disagreeable, Tir Anasazi, and I am forced to endure such. Edelfrad, I believe I gave you an assignment on this ship. Explain to me then why my senior congregator is still dawdling about the officer's deck instead of proceeding to the middle decks to commence the inspection of the compartments in his purview. I beg your forgiveness, Lady Theodora. Your presence has such a profound effect on me and that I well forgot the time. Okay. So, Anasazi, why are you here? Was it not you who sent for me? You have seeded the opening that was offered to you in a woeful display of meekness. Admittedly, this tendency is equally strong in all who toil in the Emperor's service. Immutable hierarchy, absolute obedience, lickspittle, compulsion to please. I value none of those things. For a moment my invoice came for you, the terms of your existence changed. My name is Theodora von Valencias Massimo of Scaris. I am a rogue traitor in the service of God and Emperor of humanity, and my rights and freedoms are vindicated by a most sacred relic, the warrant of trade kept aboard this very vessel. Mine is the honor to venture into the darkness beyond the Imperium and carry humanity's light where powers wicked and heretical reign and bow death and ruin to us all. It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bounds of the explored void. Every world I discover, along with all there is to find thereon, resources, people, riches, and mysteries, is mine by right. I command millions of lives. Just millions? Okay. Rule over numerous planets and possess fortunes that no planetary governor or commander could dream of. And you, Anasazi, are one of those with von Valencias' blood in their veins and rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes. One of. Does this mean there are other heirs? Naturally, some have yet to come on board, but you have had the pleasure of meeting one of them. Edelfrad may be somewhat disconcerted by the scale of the responsibilities that may potentially fall upon his shoulders. However, I have a good feeling about him as a candidate. Blood right alone is not enough to earn the high honor of becoming the bearer of a warrant of trade. Nonetheless, your abilities and talents may yet prove useful. If not for the role of Lord Captain, then for that of their closest allies. Alas, even those responsibilities can be at times too challenging for those who share your blood. Conrad Voigtvier served me for many years before he made that mistake. If you are satisfied with Edelfrad, then what sense is there in having this conversation? Why are you wasting your time on me? Impatience. I'm rather fond of impatient people. They are not as quick to resign themselves to circumstance and more eager to show initiative. Even if I do choose Edelfrad as my successor, I will still require a loyal advisor. The skills and knowledge you acquired in your former life may prove invaluable here in the Coronos expanse. You were once the Lord Captain yourself, aboard your own ship. You know everything there is to know about the life of this gargantuan beast and its thousands of crew members. You know how fickle machine spirits can be, how weak-willed are the rabble from the lower decks, how a single tactical decision can turn the tide of battle. Few people can claim to have such priceless experience that is so highly sought after in my calling. Moreover, your courage has made you far more famous than you yourself probably realize. The true feats of heroism will forever live on in the annals of the Imperium and bring honor to the von Valencias line. Thank you for clarifying. May I ask my questions now? I have some time before the navigator gives the signal to initiate the void ship's translation out of the warp, and my presence is required on the bridge. An incident took place on the officer's deck. Some servitors went berserk and attacked the crew. Is that so? Perhaps the technomats were careless during their maintenance, or it could be the warp playing tricks on us in spite of the Geller field. Or perhaps there's something to all the stories about the ship being possessed after all. Lady Theodora, for the god the Emperor's sake, surely you do not intend to start repeating idle rumors spread about by uneducated riffraff. Enough, Abelard. Such hearsay amuses me. Idira eagerly retells me everything she learns from the whispers of her unseen advisors. This ship is thousands of years old. It has enough hidden nukes, malfunctioning agitators, and unused compartments to make ignorant folk speak of specters dealing within the bulkheads and plotting against those who yet live. Where is your ship headed? the Rykart system, the domain of Rogue Trader Winterscale, one of my peers and rivals. Only 3 Rogue Traders exist in the Coronis Expanse, and each of them possesses resources comparable to mine. Perhaps you will one day assist my house in surpassing both of them in affluence and splendor. I set the course for Rykart on the demand, for a very specific reason. Perhaps I shall yet apprise you of the purpose of for this voyage, but now is not the time. No more questions. In that case, I shall head to disturbances reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal, if the need arises, protect the new blood. It's possible that the chance to prove your Orf may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated. What the? Chaos cultists? Or just crazy?
Grovel before the faithful.
You haven't been ambushed. The battle begins. Okay. So I am going to have to wait. Let's see what they do. Ooh. Ooh, nice.
I've suffered worse.
I am the chosen weapon that will crush the heathens. I cannot comply. This is beyond me. I can't allow myself to do this. Actions will speak louder than words.
Alright, we missed. Let's see what they do. He missed. Another miss. Their turn.
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Oof. Okay. Another one bites dust. They're certainly putting up the damage. A melt up weapon.
I've suffered worse.
He's not yet dead. My turn.
Rejoice in service.
Okay. Yeah, he's a tough one.
One fewer target.
He did the charge. Jeez, damn Melta.
And so shall it be done.
This is hilariously bad.
Time to prove my method. I took care of this one. For the glory of the Imperium.
I cannot comply. Let my fury rain down upon thee.
I'll revert to more conservative tactics.
Alright, heretics. Take a team with you, Mort, and clear a path to the transport line. Do not let a single horse son survive. Didn't bat an eye when that scum burst onto the deck, Not bad. I have seen many officers who panicked at the sight of combat on the upper decks. The false sense of security offered by their position makes them that much more vulnerable to the harsh realities of warp travel. The incident with the rampaging servitors may be connected to what is transpiring now. Possibly, quite likely. We'll investigate at a later time. Right now, we need to isolate the affected compartments and try to assess the situation. What are your orders? Moore has gone ahead to clear a path for us. If you want to make yourself useful, go after him, see if the arch-militant requires aid, and be quick about it.
We are bound by the blood of martyrs. We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
A fight happening. Alright, that's closed.
Let us walk this path to the end.
One's down. Here he come. Thank Providence you are alive and well. Always on time, Conrad. The moment we finish chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up. Always just after the fighting's done. You could set your chrono by it. Mort, pull yourself together. What did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We're all done here. I'll report right away. Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The Voxnet is silent, the Vox Master is not responding, armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my arch-militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of war madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report. I have not received word from the Enigmarium regarding any Geller field failures, but communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Wherever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and only Vox cast from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. That the madmen have already reached the officer's deck suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny. Mutiny? But who would attempt a mutiny here in the warp? Oh, there all would be people. We must provide immediate assistance to those still on the middle decks. Perhaps then we might stop this wave from spreading. First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator's sanctum are secure, and I have the means to do both things at once. Edelfrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A psyker aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons. I tried to locate him, but the last known thing about his movements is that he arrived on transitional deck 18. Plastic. Master of Whispers, find Edelfrad immediately. Seneschal, locate Tyus and the Sister of Battle. Both are to remain at my side. Arch-militant with me, I must go to my study. It appears that we might encounter heretics along the way. Anasazi. If I may, Lord Captain, transitional deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Edelfrad back, I could use some support. After all, I am not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the house as the esteemed Arch-militant, and taking consideration Edelfrad's psychic powers. Okay. Then it's settled. Anasazi, find Edelfrad and bring him here in whatever state you find him. This elevator leads to the restricted compartments such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand? I hear and obey, Lord Captain. Then move out. Mort, come. Okay. Are we ready to hit 18? I shall make do. Lead the way. Of course you will. Lady Theodora will never have someone she can rely on as one of her heirs, but that is no longer relevant. What the? Well, isn't that special? Betrayed.
Careful, careful. Be gentle with our guest. He has an important mission to complete during our visit to the Warrant chamber. And for that, I need him breathing. Oh, you are back with us, I see. Delightful.
What is the meaning of this?
You must have hit your head harder than I thought. No matter. Very little is required of you. Just your blood, which you can either share of your own volition, or I will spill it for you. We are in the anteroom of the Warrant chamber, this void ship's most hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power. The sacred Warrant of Trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel, an ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel.
What is it, inbred? Is your blood too thin for the Sentinel?
On the contrary, the Warp's blessing has raised me too much above your kind, Fon Valencius. The Sentinel refused to submit to me. But you can help. After all, isn't that what family is for?
All the answers are... I have no intention.
I am afraid that you have no choice in the matter. Try to resist, and I will demonstrate the power that the Warp holds over mortals. Come to think of it, I might even take some pleasure in doing so.
Enough threats. I will comply with your demands.
There's a good boy. Then go to the Sentinel at the gates of the Warrant chamber and fulfill your destiny. I had hoped to feed Edelthrad to the machine. He is the one who caught Theodora's eye, after all. But since procuring him has proved difficult, you will have to do.
Alright. You carefully, okay? Examine. An area broken, okay. Alright.
High levels of caustic humors. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
I do.
Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol.
Well, there is still another way. Let the faith guide my path to glory.
Let it be known that by my will, by the true words of this document, I appoint, okay, to the paragon of humanity, unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely. Okay, that's too quick. To walk steadily the road of thorns, for pain to greatness. What do we have here?
Escort the child of the house to safety.
I need a weapon.
Distance from the current location to the nearest arsenal. Initiating situational calculations.
Who are you?
Temporary obnubilation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel standing by.
Are you the Warrant Sentinel?
Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel, designed as a personal escort of the child of the house and a means of communicating with the rogue trader's subjects. Mobile unit standing by.
I need to contact someone, preferably Theodora.
Voxcast frequencies disrupted. Initiating setup. Establishing connection.
Alright.
Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Unable to establish two-way connection.
Leave me away from here.
Middle and upper decks. Assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units. Calculating. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately after the safety of the warrant is secured.
Know your duty.
Master! Whatever are you doing in the warrant chamber? How did you... Throne preserve me, what is the meaning of this?
The Master of Whispers is a traitor. When you parted ways on the officer's deck, he sent me somehow and brought me here.
What?
He intended to take revenge on Theodora for something, and trying to reach the warrant was somehow part of that plan. I presume he's...
Holy God, Emperor! I presume he is the one responsible for the mutiny. And, Master, I wish to remind you that you are to refer to the Lord Captain as Lady Theodora.
So it seemed, but he's not here and we have a mutiny to end.
Indeed. Indeed. That is easier said than done, of course. But seeing one of Lady Theodora's heirs alive inspires at least some degree of optimism. You're in a bad way. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicaid kit with me. And for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense. Here. Your seneschal is always there for you. This wound will make a fine scar.
With you at my side, victory is within our grasp. For the Emperor.
Sometimes you consult the appropriate treaties on tactica.
Your aid will not be forgotten.
This
Heresy
mastercrafted
grows from
paternal
idleness.
is not fit for a servitor. What advice do you seek?
With each step, I forge my destiny among the stars. The divine watches over us.
Let's patch you up.
With you at my side, victory is within our grasp.
That is a noticeable improvement. Now you're prepared for the trials ahead.
Okay.
The lower decks are teeming with heretics instigating the rabble to revolt. But that is the least of our problems. The ship's enforcers are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance. The situation on the middle decks is much worse, although strike teams have already been dispatched there. All communication with the bridge and the engineering bay was lost. So, apart from scattered voxcasts, we have no information to go on. But that is not the worst of it all. All these jolts and shaking are most alarming. These are signs that the navigator and the master helmsman are having difficulty translating the ship out of the warp and into real space. I fear that they may have already lost control. We must reach the navigator's sanctum and get a handle on the situation. If we can manage that, some aboard this vessel may yet survive.
I have heard one of Theodora's casts.
Lady Theodora's. Which one? The last one I received was about the navigator's sanctum, and that was a good while ago. In any case, let us hope that the Lord Captain is well, and safely in charge of the ship's defense. In
Well,
the
exactly.
meantime, we must do all we can to prevent the ship from veering off course.
What exactly has gone wrong with the translation?
I am no helmsman. Oh, God Emperor preserve me, navigator. However, I've spent my entire life aboard void ships equipped with warp drives, and I know that portents such as these do not bode well. It could be that the Geller field has faltered. Perhaps the navigator was struck down by warp corruption and is fighting for the last shreds of his humanity as we speak. If we get thrown off course, we will be forever lost in the war. Naturally, we would likely not have long to live in that scenario. But I will not resign myself to such an outcome just yet.
How did you find me?
You sent me a Vox message. Specifically, a Vox cast on the officer's frequency, which I had the good fortune to receive. You mean to say you did no such thing?
I think the Warrant Sentinel may have sent that message. It appeared when I opened the chamber.
Warrant Sentinel? The Lord Captain barely ever ventures down to the chamber, and I was at her side only once or twice when she did. And I did not see anything of the sort. The Warrant Chamber is an ancient and rather sacred mechanism that the ship's tech priests treat with the utmost reverence. I assume that whatever it is that you did, you must have activated certain processes and caused the Sentinel to awaken. But then, why did none of it happen when Lady Theodora did the same?
Because she is a usurper, I imagine. If she doesn't have the blood, she might have stolen the warrant herself, the trade warrant, from someone. Pretended she was of a house that she was not. Lead the way, Seneschal.
Come.
Okay, to arms, loyal sons of daughters of the God Emperor.
The Lord Captain is calling her crew to battle, which means the Vox networks are set up for broadcast transmission, not message exchange. Splendid. While the rogue trader inspires proper resolve to fight in her subjects, You and I shall prove that her trust in us is well deserved. Onward!
Indeed. More of them.
Don't you dare to cross us!
I'll bleed you dry!
My ears are ringing.
Okay. Available abilities are located, okay. We can cleave, we can strike.
I will not another step towards our ultimate victory. And so shall it be done.
Right, this is a tutorial. Clearly. Your companion's warrior.
One fewer target. It will be done.
Alright, attack with opportunity. You can parry.
Just a minor setback.
Your corrupt way has failed you.
Plenty of resistance. Ooh.
At your beck and call. I took care of this one.
He's pretty solid at surviving that melee damage. Okay.
Your end is nigh. Actions will let this be the warning to all who oppose us.
Reduced to dust.
And that's it. We leveled up, huh? What do we have? Okay.
No, son.
Look no further.
Alright, he's got a wound.
Let us walk this path to the end.
Okay. Here's a map of your void ship. It consists of several parts which can travel. Let's go to the Navigator's Sanctum. Okay. For now, I'm going to stop. Costin signing out.